Let me take you back to COVID because Brent Fletcher just bought his first house. He doesn't even know what a home inspector does. Then the guy walks the property and finds thousands of dollars in problems Brent never would have caught on his own. That same day, Brent deposits his paycheck and signs up for home inspection classes. 100 days later, sober and laser focused with zero industry connections, he does his first paid inspection. Fast forward to today, 5 inspectors, 500 inspections a year, and a following of over 250,000 people who watch him online just to see what he finds next. This is how he built it, starting with nothing but a bad checklist and one good idea. I'm Ryan Atkinson, and you're listening to the Uplift Podcast, where we interview entrepreneurs to hear their advice on how you can start a business too. So excited to welcome Brent to the podcast today to talk about all things home inspection. This is a newer topic for the Uplift, so super excited to have you on here, Brent. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me. How you doing today?
I am doing great. I'm excited for this podcast, so I want to dive in. Let's lay the foundation for the audience. What does home inspection mean? What exactly does Brent Fletcher do?
So, home inspection is a visual representation of the condition of a property at its current state and what's going on with it. So, essentially, what we're going to be doing is going into a home, looking at it from top to bottom, and saying everything we see about it and any defects we may find, and give it to a potential buyer so they can use it to make an educated decision about if they want to move forward with the property. Now, it doesn't have to be just buyers. We can also do 11-month warranties and all down the line, but that's the general majority of what it is.
How did you get into this as well? I know alluded into the opener, but I'm curious, like the founding story of like how you got into this.
So yeah, you're correct. It was COVID. I was trying to buy a house. I didn't even know what a home inspection was. Now, keep an eye. I did have a lot of construction background and all of that. But this guy came in, showed up with his tool belt and ladder, did the whole inspection, did a great job, and found thousands of dollars worth of defects, as you mentioned. And then because of what he found, I ended up getting all my closing costs covered and a check written to me for concessions, which was like $8,000 on top of all my closing costs because of what this guy found. So I took that $8,000. I'm like, I'm going to do what he just did. And I invested that $8,000 into taking classes, schooling, buying my name for the business, getting my domain, getting my website. And I usually just use that to get the first branch up and running.
Yeah. So wait. So was that like what you did from day one? This was like, I see what just happened. Write me $8,000, and like it was kind of like I'm going all in.
It just clicked immediately. I knew this is what I wanted to do. I already had the knowledge in it. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was looking for the type of business that spoke to me, and it literally just came out of nowhere. And then, as you also mentioned, I did a 100-day sober challenge. Once I decided I wanted to do it, just put all my focus into how to grow this business, how to get it started. And it was day 97. I got my first inspection.
No way. That is such a cool testament right there. People want to know, how the heck do I get a customer? So let's go to day 97. How did Brent land his first customer?
So I actually went to a networking event. It was my first networking event that I've ever been to. And it was like a tabletop, kind of like a speed dating networking where a bunch of different entrepreneurs can get to know each other. This guy was not a real estate agent. I forget even what he did. I think he owned a store, but he was wanting to list his property. So he wanted to get it looked at. And I happened to be at the table talk, and he's like, hey, come out to my house. Let's get it going, and you can check it all out. So that was my first inspection, was a pre-listing.
Oh my gosh. So how did you know going into that? Obviously you like took classes, but going back to day 97, how do you like know to look forward? Did you bring like a checklist? I really want to like zoom in on this area.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I stayed up all night the night before watching YouTube and like going through like a whole evaluation of everything. But I mean, there's I mentioned this before in some of my videos that there's confidence and competence. Now, confidence you're going to have to build. It's by being repetitive. But confidence, I had confidence because I took the training. I knew what I was talking about. I knew what to put in there, or the competence. But the confidence had to come later. So I relied heavily on my competence. So I knew exactly what I was doing during that inspection, and then stayed up all night just going over that report over and over and over, make sure I did not miss anything, going over my pictures over and over, and just going back to my training.
What did you find, and like how much did that pay you? Because I'm going to paint the picture for the audience. I'm like, how much money could you make this like early on? So what did you get paid that day?
That day, I believe that inspection was $450. It took me about 3 hours to do the inspection. And because it was my first one, I probably spent another 8 hours looking at the report to make sure it was good to go before it went. But yeah, I mean, now we're doing it. Our average price point is about $550 an inspection, and we can get it done in 3 hours.
Wow.
We have all reports done on site.
Yeah, that's a pretty good like timing right there. You make a lot of money in a day with a 550 ticket.
So once you get all the add-ons on there, I think we're averaging about $900 per inspection with add-ons.
Wow, that is a pretty good business to get into then. So let's keep talking about growing the customer base then. So day 97, get our first customer. What happens after that? Building the customer base. Like what levers did you pull to get customer two, three?
That'll hands down be the biggest challenge that I faced in this was trying to figure out how to get customers because people don't call home inspectors every single day. Most people only buy a house once or twice in their life, so therefore it's a once in a while type of thing. So what I've learned is order to have people call you, you got to be the last person they saw because I'll be the first person they call. So therefore I made sure I put my face on social media every day. It started with posts. I didn't do videos for the first year. I had my little things. I had the more you know Mondays, where I tried to explain some things. What went wrong Wednesdays, meet our friends Fridays. And one of the biggest things I can say to new people that are trying to start their own business and get seen, join your local chamber. Chambers are great. Get involved with your community. Get to know other entrepreneurs. And that's where I did the Meet Our Friends Friday, where I met local entrepreneurs, and I do a post saying I met this person. You should check out their business. So my right from the get go, I was promoting other entrepreneurs' businesses, and that came back tenfold. Where they would always recommend me out because I recommended.
That is awesome. So was this like how you got like your second and third customer was like the local chamber slash like social media then?
Yeah, exactly. And then anybody that lives anywhere has, a friend that's a real estate agent somewhere. So just having some friends that want to use me, that helped out a lot too, and just word of mouth. And a little side, this was my little nix, is I was also a bartender, and a lot of people knew me as a bartender. So therefore, if I heard people were talking about a house, like, hey, if you ever need a home inspector,
Right there. Let me I have the guy for you.
so that helped out too. It was definitely a slow start though. I think my first year I did 40 inspections.
Okay, so 40 inspections at like 450, let's call it, whatever that turns out to be. That's obviously not full-time money, maybe for some people, but were you doing it full-time? Was it on the side?
Honestly, the first 2.5, 3 years, I was still a full-time manager at a restaurant and bartending. I was doing that at night, so I do inspections from 8 to 4, get to the restaurant by 5, work 5 to 12, 5 to 1, and then just do that every day of the week because I had to make it work. There's opportunity and then there is security. Now, I had a family, I had kids, I had to have security, I had to have a consistent paycheck. I couldn't go all in, but the opportunity was there. So I had to double down and keep the security and opportunity, which ended up being 16-hour days, 5, 6 days a week.
So how long did you do the restaurant gig with like how long did it take you essentially to go full-time with?
That was about year 3.
Wow.
Luckily the owner of the restaurant was totally supportive of me, helped me every way he could. So I was cutting back and slowly going back. The 3rd year, I probably could have cut back the restaurant quicker, but I still just wanted to make sure that safety net was there. But on year 3 is when it really took off to where I saw that I could completely support myself and my family with just the inspections.
Are you ready to launch, grow, and scale a business? Inside the Upflip Academy, you'll get a complete roadmap to shortcut your success with 25 plus step-by-step programs taught by active business owners, not gurus, who share their step-by-step blueprints, plus ongoing live workshops, skills training, a business idea database, and community to share resources and celebrate your wins. Click the link in the description below to join the Upflip Academy today and start surrounding yourself with the people and tools that can change everything for your business.
So I want to keep talking about customers because obviously there comes a point in time where like maybe you can't go to the local chamber events because, you just are scaling. What is the best way that you get customers now that someone should start with? Obviously go to the local chamber, social media maybe. What is the best way now?
I really think it is. Getting to know local entrepreneurs, you can go try to talk to real estate agents are what everyone sees as the big one because real estate agents are the ones that work with your direct clientele. So getting a referral through them. But I can tell you most real estate agents are already going to have their handful of inspectors. It's going to be really hard to get in with them. So your best bet there is to be available. It's a seasonal job. We're very busy in the summer. So what happens in the summer, what's happening to me is I'm 2, 3 weeks booked out. So we have a lot of people that call that, hey, we have a short turnaround time. Can you get us in the next 4 or 5 days? Sorry, I can't. Here are some other people you can call that might be able to get you. And that's where I was when I started. I was the leftover guy, the one that just get in. So I say if you're trying to get into home inspections, get to know all the other home inspectors in your areas, make friends with them. So you're the referral that they're going to refer out. And then now you get to meet more agents through being the referral from another home inspector. And then hopefully that'll help build your business moving forward.
That's good. And then what does social media play? How does that play into? I want to talk about because social media is a big part of like your world and how you've scaled. So let's talk about your social media piece. Sounds like you're doing a year one, but kind of take me through the evolution of social media, what you've been doing and posting.
First year, like I said, was a lot of just Instagram photos. I was just doing photos, things I found, this is the inspection I'd done. And I slowly started getting into videos and I really just loved editing. It was just, I don't know, it's just one thing that I really liked getting into.
That's crazy.
So I started doing that. And I remember when I hit my first 1,000 on TikTok, I got 1,000 followers and it was like so exciting. I hit 10,000. Now I can go live. And then all of a sudden one day I randomly said, don't do that in a video. And I got so many comments like, don't do that. On today's episode, don't do that home inspections. Don't do that. And then boom, comments blew up. So I started doing that a little more, probably about year 3. And then that really started to take off on TikTok. And I think it was going into winter of year 4. I was like, you know what? I think I'm leaving revenue source on the table here. I'm only focusing on TikTok really and some photos on Instagram. So I made this shift to make the videos, post 2 videos a day, every day to every platform. And I did that starting December. It was Christmas Day or Christmas of 2024. I started doing that. And it took about 6 months. And I went from 4,000 followers on Facebook to 250,000 followers.
Wow. That's explosive growth.
Yeah. And then that just kind of went. And then I jumped onto YouTube and I went from, I think I had, I don't even know, maybe 1,000. And now I am at 95,903.
Okay, so I want to make that actionable for people. So obviously they're hearing that like explosive growth. Talk to us more about that. If someone's listening right now, how can they replicate that? Is just posting more? What is that?
Everyone always asks me, and I know there's a little bit of luck of the draw in making quality content, but more so than not, post every day. And I tell everyone that, and no one will do it. No one wants to post every day. You got to post and pick 2 time slots. I get up every day at 4 a.m. 4 a.m., take a shower, and by 4:30, I'm at my desk. From 4:30 to 5:30, I'm editing, and I post a video by 5:30, and I have a second one ready to go by noon.
Wait, that's right. So you're still doing it all yourself. Why don't you like delegate this then? What's kind of the reason behind that then?
I enjoy editing. I don't know. It's even back, like, let's just go way back to high school. All I ever wanted to do in high school is I wanted to be a video director because I loved MTV and I loved VH1 and all those old, music videos. I always wanted to direct music videos. Now this is a music videos, but I'm still directing what's in it. I'm editing it. I'm cutting.
That's awesome.
Together. So it's something I've always wanted to do.
Okay, I like it. So then what's your system for actually creating content? Because it's one thing to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, but like you like really need to know what you want to create. So what's your advice for people like developing that content strategy from like day one across like any industry here?
So, I mean, like I said, it's going to be different for everyone. What I found is a short clip for the hooks to bring people in. That's my don't do that. So usually about 10 to 15 seconds long. And it's just a quick laughable thing like, all right, we'll follow this guy, see what else he has. And then if you're trying to get monetized or any of that, you have to hit minute long videos or you don't get monetized. So therefore, I always try to make 1 minute long educational video where those are kind of my 11-month warranty videos where I'm going in, I'm talking about all the different things I see during the 11-month warranty to be a little bit more educational and not so funny. And I try to post one of each day.
Nice. Okay. Now I like that strategy. And then what's your attribution on this? Like, do you do attribution reporting on like how many customers actually come through social media?
We know we do get it quite a bit. And here's what we've been seeing. So yes, it does play a big factor. It's one of 3 key pieces that I've seen to why we've had so much business. Social media, yes. 2, we have a really good real estate agent base that we had before social media ever even took off. So I was already booked out as a solo inspector before I grew. So that helped. And what we've seen is, like I said, every real estate agent has their 3 home inspectors. So they don't ever refer me out if they're down in Denver. But what happens is a client will see me down in Denver from social media and they're like, hey, we want to use the social media guy, whatever, his company. So we go down there. The agents see the quality of service that we provide. And they're like, we've never seen anybody, from the customer service, from the phone calls to how fast we get the reports out on site. And they're like, you are now in our top 3. So
Wow.
we grew a lot of agents because of social media. And now we're getting a lot of referrals from them due to one video on social media. But now they're using us for people that have never heard of us. And then the next one will be the Google reviews. We were closing out 600 5-star with a 5-star rating. So people obviously have our service. You can't just be a pretty face online. You actually have to provide a service that can back what you're talking about. I believe we do that quite well.
For the Google reviews, how do you do that? So my stepdad owns a flooring business, and small business, boring business, like hard business. He struggles with getting like customer reviews. Is there like some sort of system you are using? Or are you just simply asking people? Do you have like a workflow? What does that look like? Because it's so important.
So we can't just send out the reports through the software we have. But what we do is we always send a personal email with a link to the report. So we can just say, hey, we're right here. If you want to have any questions, we're directly talking to you. And then we have a little thing at the bottom. If you enjoyed our service, please, leave us a Google review. There's also a lot of different, when this goes for any industry, they're all called something different. There will be like review, I don't even call it softwares. So basically, like, yeah, after the job is done, you click the job is done. It sends out a text message to the client. Hey, if you enjoyed your service, would you mind leaving a review? So between the email and that, we hit them twice. But I would never ask someone at the job site, hey, did you like me? Like, will you give me a tip? No, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to provide you good service. Tell you to have a good day. Call me if you have any questions. And then they get hit a couple times with, hey, if you enjoyed us, leave us a review.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to set that up for him as well. So I was curious what software is out there. I want to go back to what else you said, and a big part of that was just like real estate agents like love working with you. Like, well, we've never seen something like this before. What are like the three pillars that you've set up to like come across that way to like have people be so happy to work with you?
Honestly, being available. So especially I think this is true with any business, even like, if agents are going to call you, they might have a couple different home inspectors are going to call. If they call and you don't answer, they're calling the next person. And then you call them back, they're already on the line with somebody else.
Oh yeah.
It happens so many times. So always being available, even if you have, your old lady neighbor answer phones for you and then forward them. Like, it doesn't matter who it is, just make sure you answer that phone every time it rings. Don't take time off. That's very true in the beginning. So I think that's a huge one, is always being available. It is great for agents because agents are all over the place. They're working from 6 a.m. till midnight with their clients. Clients are calling them at 11 o'clock at night with questions. And boom, if you can reply right away, that will help a lot. Quick reports, quick turnarounds. I think that'd be another great pillar. They're not waiting on anything. They're not having to ask you. If an agent is asking you for something, you failed.
Yep, I agree with that.
You need to make sure everything gets to them before any questions even come in. What a lot of agents have liked that we've done is we set aside a half an hour at the end of the inspection. We get out our laser pointer, we get out our iPad, and we make it a presentation for the client when they get there to, let's do a walk around. Here's where this is. There's that. Here's what we found. Maybe this is what could be causing it. At the end, we're going to show them how to read the report, answer any questions they have about it. So when we leave that job site, all questions have been answered. And it's reduced our phone calls that come in and reduced people that have questions at the end. So I say, if you're new to home inspections, factor that into the time that you're going to be on job site. Make it a presentation, get your spiels down, how you're going to address things. People really do appreciate it.
So what goes into that presentation, like the reports? I just want to be detailed as possible here because I would really like that advice.
So what I do is, first, when everyone gets there, I introduce myself, and then I ask, before we even get started, do you have any questions for me? And they may or they might not. Usually the answer is, we will, once we see what you have to
Yeah,
talk.
of course.
So, and then we go from there. Ha ha ha. We can laugh a little bit. All right. The next one be like, all right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a walk around the house. We're going to talk about everything that we found here, what the different defects mean. Then once we're done, we're going to pull out the iPad and we're going to go through everything one by one, answer any questions that you may have. And therefore, then we start doing the walk around the house, laser pointer, kind of doing all that. Because I'd be like, oh, that thing up there. Like, nobody knows what you're talking about. And now you're insinuating confusion before you even get started. But you point a laser point at, boom. Right there it is. That thing right there. Here's why it's an issue. Do a little circle around it, all that good stuff. So the presentation is huge. To be a successful home inspector, yes, you have to be able to perform a good inspection. But if you want to be successful as a business owner, you have to be able to sell the inspection. Now, if you can't sell the inspection, no one's going to call you back. So basically, you provide the best service with every inspection you have. Now you're getting referred to the experts. Hey, that guy did a great job. We should give him another try, this and that. And before you know it, you are.
That's a great takeaway. I actually encourage listeners to go back and rewind that bit right there because it's one thing to provide it, but it's also like the whole time you are selling yourself for future projects, it feels like. And when you originally said presentation, I actually thought you meant like a Google slide or like Canva deck, but no, you mean presentation like come off as professional and like look good, not look good, but like look good while you're doing
Try
it.
to, but
Yeah, yeah. You got a nice beard and everything, so
actually getting up there, and you are the presentation, you are the show. You're out there to be very, insightful for everyone. Give all the answers you can to them. Small things. Here's your water valve. Here's your main electrical shut off. Here's your gas. It doesn't have to be a scary presentation. It's like this is broke, that's broke. No, this is what the house is. This is could potentially be your new home. And here's so you know where everything's at. We found it so you don't have to.
amazing stuff right there. Okay, cool. And then some other questions I want to ask as well. So obviously you're a team of 5 now, I believe. I mean, when did you know it was time to hire more and get more talent on the team? Was it just strictly volume? You couldn't keep up with volume? What'd that look like?
Yeah, I would say so. It got to the point where I was just too busy doing inspections that I couldn't answer phones like I wanted to. And I had my little secretary, which was my notepad in my pocket. I just wrote secretary on it. And I took all my orders in attics and crawl spaces and on roofs. And then I was like, this has got to be too much. So before I hired another inspector, I think that's what a lot of people do. They get to that point, like, we need to hire another inspector to keep up with all the jobs. No, hire an admin. Get someone to answer
Whoa.
the phones, get someone to talk to people, get someone to schedule. And once they got that set, now you can add someone else because now I'm not taking phone calls as a business owner. And if that new home inspector has questions, he can call me and my phone's not tied up. And I can make sure he can do it. So that's what I found to work a lot better. But then, yeah, I hired another home inspector. That grew. Then I hired another guy that did all my radons and mold inspections. Then I got another guy training. Well, now I need another admin. So we hired another admin. The admins are trained to do radon and mold testing as well. So if we need extra help out there. And then I'm looking to hire more inspectors.
Wow.
But I am very strict about my training procedure. It's going to take a long time. It's not like you're just going to start with me and be out inspecting the next week. It'll take about 4 to 6 months working with us before you're cut loose. And there are
Wow.
different steps within there. We hold our name to the highest of standards. With our Google reviews, the agents we've worked with for years. So if anybody comes on with us, they're going to have to be working at our level. So.
Yeah, it's very good. I think it's interesting to hire the admin first, but I think you have a nice takeaway there where it's like, you can't have your phone be tied up and you can answer in other ways there. Where do you guys get your admins from? Is it like VAs in like the Philippines? Is it in the Denver area?
And I know home inspectors that do that. Absolutely. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I personally, because of we have a large service area, we go from Cheyenne, Wyoming down to Colorado Springs. And I need people that are here that understand the areas and how long it takes. We have so much traffic here in Colorado. The Denver traffic is crazy. So, I mean, we're talking 10 miles apart in Denver. I'll schedule another half hour, 45 minutes of drive time for those 10 miles
So crazy.
just to get there. So for me, I hire local, just people that can, there's Bree. She's my main admin. She's been with me since day one. She's seen the whole thing grow, but she became a paid employee about 3.5, 4 years in. And then our other one, she's been Colorado native for a long time.
Yeah, it's always interesting where people get their talent from. So I just wanted to ask that. But cool. That is really great stuff. So I'm happy we talked about like how we got started, getting your first client, social media, and then like really scaling this thing. So Brent, let's head to our fan blitz questions. And these are questions submitted from our community. Listeners, if you want to join on world-class entrepreneurs like Brent, email us at podcast@upflip.com to get your questions submitted there. But Brent, ready for our last 5 here?
Yeah, let's do it.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever found during an inspection?
I get that one a lot. I would say it was an old house, and when I went underneath of it, I realized the entire foundation was old cut tree rings, and they literally had tree rings just kind of holding up the whole house. I think it was 1879. So and then they dug out the crawl space to be a utility room, but never poured any supporting walls. So therefore, the whole house was just sitting on dirt that was dropping off 4 feet. And I was poking it, and the dirt was crumbling in my hand. I was like, "All right, that's probably."
You might not want that house.
I don't think they went through with that house after I found it. So
That's crazy. All right, favorite tool in your bag, the one that you never do a job without.
a flashlight. I mean, it's simple, but you have to have a strong flashlight. If you can't see, you can't do an inspection. I would say shortly behind that one would be my infrared, because the infrared's going to also see things that you normally wouldn't be able to see. So anything that can help me see better is going to be your best tools.
Amazing. Favorite editing software.
So I bounce back and forth a little bit. I probably use InShot the most because I don't get too crazy with this home inspection videos. So really, InShot gives me everything I need to do it. After that, I would say CapCut. CapCut by far has the best noise reducer. So if I'm ever gonna have a barking dog in the background, I'll throw in the CapCut and edit it in there just so I can get rid of that dog.
Ripped it
Happens
in
more
there.
than you would think. It's literally who's fighting the barking dog or the neighbor mowing the lawn when I'm trying to shoot a video.
That's so funny. What's one home horror story that you have for us?
I think there was a minute that I was doing inspections for a insurance claim company for foreclosures, and they were out of like New Jersey, and they would just book me online, and I'd go out and inspect these homes for them. And I've gotten to a few hoarder homes where the entire house was covered in feces and just gnats. I would never make any of my inspectors do that. I would tell them quit, but I do because why not? Old refrigerators full of meat that they just unplugged. Like people that try to sabotage these houses because they were getting foreclosed on. So those were some of the worst smells, worst days, rodents everywhere. And just like, you put your shoe covers on to protect your shoes from going in the house, not to protect the house from your shoes. Like, I've seen the worst of the worst. So I'd say that would probably be some of the horror stories that I've come through. And there's always, every now and then, if you put your foot through a ceiling, that's pretty scary too. It's only happened
Oh, yeah, that's horrifying.
to once, but I hear it happens to every home inspector at least once.
And very last one, if you weren't inspecting homes, what would you be doing instead?
Oh man, that's a great question. I'll be an entrepreneur in some way or another. The next goal that I think that I'd want to get into would probably be real investment properties. I would like to get, Airbnbs or long-term rentals and just kind of get those across different states. I just got a motorcycle, so I can just ride my motorcycle from state to state, checking out my properties, and
That sounds like the dream.
be great. So that's my next step right now is I want to continue to grow this company. I want to get a Denver branch and then eventually a Colorado Springs branch and tie the front range together. Hopefully step back, oversee it, and then start getting investment properties so I can start maintaining those while the business is running. So
Amazing. Well, cool. Well, I think you are on the right track here. It's been an amazing episode. So I want to thank you so much for being here. It sounds like I need to check out Brent. Where can they connect with you?
they can check me out. So if you go to YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok, it is Inspector_Fletch. If you go to Facebook, it's just Fletcher's Home Inspections.
Everyone, that was an amazing episode with Brent. Super happy we get someone on in the home inspection world. There's a lot of money to be made here. So let's get our 3 quick takeaways for you. Number 1, confidence and competence. That is what's going to make you thrive when it comes to selling yourself and getting your first customers. Number 2, speaking of getting your first customers, join a local chamber, but don't lift yourself up, lift other people up, and that'll 10x your business basically overnight. Just lift other people up. Tactical one here, but number 3, be available. If someone calls, be able to do it the next day, the day after. You want to be able to be available to these real estate agents and these homes whenever they need you, especially early on. And then once you get there, do a great job. But on this episode with Brent, if you guys are enjoying this podcast, please give us a 5-star rating wherever you get your podcast. It helps us get more amazing entrepreneurs like Brent onto the show. And we will see you next Monday. Brent, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you having me.